What's going on, men? In the last video, we talked about having good boundaries for dating. In this video, I want to talk about the dating timeline that I usually recommend to the young men that I mentor. Whenever they get into a relationship, we talk about boundaries, we talk about what to look for in a godly woman, but we also talk about in the event that this is the woman that you want to marry, or this is the woman that the Lord is calling you to, what have you, what does my timeline from dating to engagement to marriage look like? What should that look like? And this is usually what I recommend. Typically, I recommend that your first 3 to 4 months be just hanging out. Go have fun, go get to know her, go enjoy being in her presence. Go enjoy being a man in the presence of a beautiful woman. Just have fun. Keep your boundaries, establish those boundaries quickly, but you don't have to get into all of the nitty-gritty. You don't have to ask her all these tough questions. Just find out if you even like her. Find out if you even actually like her first. Just hang out, have fun for those first 3 to 4 months. Especially if you don't have a previous relationship with her, like you haven't been friends for very long, or you just met her at a bar and you thought she was not a bar. Don't get girlfriends in bars. That's a bad place to pick up girls. If you don't have a previous relationship with this girl, spend some time to get to know her. The next 5 to 7 months is usually when I would say start asking tough questions. Start asking her questions like, how do you want to raise your children? How many children do you want to have? What do you think about God? What do you think about Jesus? What do you think about marriage roles? What does your career look like? What happens? This is a great question. I'll talk about tough questions later, but this is a great question to ask. If you and I got married and we have an argument, and neither of us can come to a compromise, who gets the final say? If the answer is not you, it's the wrong answer, because you're going to be the head of the household. You will be held accountable for how you ran your family. You will be in charge. That doesn't mean that you're a tyrant. It doesn't mean that your wife obeys every silly whim that comes to you. You have to be submissive to one another, but your wife is called to be submissive to you, because you will be held accountable in the day of judgment for how your family turned out. So take it seriously. I also recommend that in this 5 to 7 months, in the 3 to 4 month category, in the 5 to 7 month category, don't say I love you. Don't give her kisses until you have asked the tough questions and she's answered correctly. Because if you start saying I love you in the first month, and you start kissing her in the second month, and then month 5 comes around and you start asking the tough questions and she answers them correctly because she says, well, actually, I'm a Buddhist and I believe in astrology and I don't want to have any children and whatever. She answers incorrectly to these questions, to the tough questions. Then you've built up an emotional attachment, you've built up a physical attachment, and saying goodbye to her is going to be way harder. Saying, I'm sorry, we can't date anymore, is going to be way harder because now you're emotionally attached and you're physically attached. Don't do these things until after she's answered correctly. So, we've got 3 to 4 months, have fun. 5 to 7 months, start asking the tough questions. 8 to 18 months, observation and prayer. This is when you start seeing how she acts in the real world, because the butterflies have kind of gone away. The posturing of trying to look your best all the time has kind of dissipated a little bit. They're a little more relaxed or a little more familiar. Now you can start to see, what does she follow through on those answers? Because maybe she just said that I want to have 5 children and I love the Lord, just so that she would continue to have your affection. Just so you would continue to like her. Maybe she did that. So now you get to see her in action. You get to see her in the real world, in real time, with her family, with her parents, with her coworkers, with her friends. Just see what kind of girl she is. Be observant, be looking, and be prayerful. Be praying about, should this turn into a marriage, Lord? Is this the woman that you want me to marry, Lord? Is this acceptable? Is she a godly woman? Am I in a position where I can marry her? And if she continues to prove herself good, and you've prayed about it, and the Lord has given you answers that are positive, that say you can go forward with this in marriage, then I would say 19 to 24 months, get engaged, get married. I never recommend that you be dating longer than 2 years. And the reason is simply this. If you are trying to keep yourself from having sex, then not having sex becomes really, really hard as you're growing closer, as you're growing in attachment, as you are continuing to develop intimacy with this person, with this girl. It's going to become much harder as time goes on to not have sex with her. So don't be waiting like 5 years to get married. You are going to put yourself in a compromising position. You are eventually going to fail. You're eventually going to give in to your desires. And you want to give in, you want to be able to give in to your desires when you're married. So don't wait forever. Don't wait forever. Have some guts. If the Lord's given you the direction to marry this girl, and she's great, and she's answered all the questions correctly, and you've observed her in the real world, and she's awesome, and you've prayed about it, have some guts, buy the ring, and get engaged to her. And marry that girl. Be about it. Don't be dating girls for like 5 or 10 years. You're wasting your time. You're wasting her time. You're going to make her feel hurt. Just get married to her. And that's all I got for this video. Do relentless things. I don't know how to tie this in to being a relentless person, but be a relentless, godly man. Be a relentless, godly man, and do not lower your standards for anyone except the Lord. Except the Lord. I love you guys. I hope that this was informative, that this helped you formulate, these videos have helped you formulate your plan for dating and for marriage. And I'll see you guys in the next one.